We're recording, Juice,
Yay!
for another episode of the Hidden Threads podcast.
It's so riveting.
Before we started recording, me and Juice were talking about the phonetic alphabet.
We were.
All right. So me and Juice know the phonetic alphabet really well. Like,
The only phonetic alphabet that should ever be used.
what about these people that try to use the words for M, words like monkey, and for P, Phil?
U for eunuch.
Eunuch.
Super Troopers pull.
Yeah, I know. Super Troopers or the Old Testament. One of the others.
Right.
Either way.
Right.
It's in the New Testament too. But yeah, so we use Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta,
Right.
Echo, Foxtrot, and Juice's favorite, whiskey.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm not a whiskey man. I'm not any kind of liquor man. But I get on the phone with people or I talk to other police forces and they throw all kind of weird stuff in there.
Oh, yeah.
They try to use names like Dave.
Apple, Baker, Charles, David.
Timothy.
Look, this ain't one Adam 12, see the man anymore.
1 out of 12. That's so good. See the man. I prefer the regular phonetic alphabet. If you guys want a class on it, Juice gives them. He charges about $500 an hour though.
Yeah, my time isn't cheap.
But yeah, the phonetic alphabet's always interesting. You asked me how we were doing a radio check, and you said, "What'd you ask me?"
How you read this unit over?
And I didn't say Lima Charlie.
Nope.
I said licking chicken.
That's right.
So if you're ever doing a battalion radio exercise where you're doing radio checks before you leave, don't say licking chicken.
Yeah, they get a little upset over that.
You'll get a visit to your Humvee by the battalion commander. I did.
Yes,
and
it happens.
He was not satisfied with my performance at that point,
It happens.
and he didn't like it when I still laughed when he was standing there.
It's amazing how they get like real serious when you laugh.
He had like a red face and stuff. But
Yeah.
we were going on a real unit, and I did a real op, and I did that.
Did you really?
We were supporting a battalion, and
Oh my God, that's awesome.
ours was snake bite, right? That was our call sign.
Right.
I said snake bite, licking chicken, and everybody's like hoo 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 in the Humvee. 5 minutes, he's standing at my window.
Oh
The
yeah.
battalion commander. Hey, devil dog. I'm not going to say on the radio what he said, but
Right.
he was not happy. And we did very well on that operation, that week-long operation, so he kind of forgot about it.
That's
If we'd
all
have screwed something up, he would have probably burned me somehow or another.
Battalion people have no sense of humor.
Right. Now, the good thing about him, he was a former recon dude.
And he's still going to come down like that?
It was a very stressful environment. Let's just say that, especially for the commander. So
sometimes you got to break up the stress with a little morale booster.
Oh, he's a light colonel. He's on up there, But anyways, all right. Good topic today. We're going to get into some training me and Juice have attended. We're going to get into the training we liked the most difficult training, and then the training we thought was the most useless. Start with you, Juice. What training? So you got a Marine Corps time.
Yep.
Your Marine Corps, you did mostly ordnance and weapons coaching, right?
Yep.
And then you got police force time.
Yes.
You got jail time.
Yes.
Prison, jail time.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
What course did you enjoy the most?
The absolute most enjoyable was the FBI firearms instructor qualification course.
FBI firearms instructor qualification course. Did you do that at Quantico?
Nope. We did it right here in Huntsville.
Right here in Huntsville. How long was that?
It was 2 weeks.
Okay. What weapons did you get into?
Everything we had in our arsenal. So we did all our M4s. We did our Remington 700s. We did our shotguns, handguns, our Glocks 22, 23, MP5, pretty much everything we had.
Did they put you through some challenging qualifications?
Yes.
Okay.
Our FBI agent that was in charge of the firearms, she lives nearby. Love her to death, but she's no joke on that range. She's all business.
All business.
Yes.
Now, what made it the most challenging?
The way she had us do some of the fields of fire, we wound up changing the way we hold the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, how you get brought up in police training, you got to hold it one way. The Charlie Angel stance and all that.
Y'all did that?
No. She broke people of that habit.
You went to the modified isosceles, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So it was just a lot of training to try and get people to change their bad habits.
Right.
And we all have them. I don't care how long you've been shooting, or you could have shot for years and years and years and quit shooting, and you pick up bad habits.
What about the old cop squat?
Yeah, we ain't doing that either.
Unless you're behind something.
Yeah,
unless you're using a barricade.
Exactly.
I always thought it's funny because I was a federal fireman instructor for the State Department.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through their program. Very good course, by the way. As the instructor, you had to do all the weapons with your strong hand. Then you went back through and had to do the quals with your weak hand.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're teaching people, you're going to have lefties out there, righties, and you got to be able to show them how to manipulate
yeah, absolutely.
Because the Glock is not made for lefties.
No, it is not.
But there is some ways they manipulate that slide stop and all that, and slide release with their fingers. I got a left-handed daughter, so it's lended very well me teaching her how to shoot because she's a lefty. But she does everything else right-handed except for shoot a basketball and shoot a pistol.
Really?
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it is.
It has to do with that eye dominance, man. You know, I found out early that she was left eye dominant, so I started her early on shooting a basketball lefty and shooting a pistol and rifle left-handed. So what was the most difficult course you attended?
Your basic sniper course.
My basic sniper course?
Yes.
Tell me, why was that hard? It seemed like you're having fun.
No, we had fun, but it's a separate discipline from a civilian.
Right. Okay.
So when Macky says, this is what you're doing, you're not, jaw jacking, playing around, discipline was brought back into the classroom. So that's the hardest because I had been out for quite a while.
Right.
And I was getting back into it and start getting the mentality in what we're doing for precision marksmanship.
The killer mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem also, that course is only 5 days.
Right. And there's a lot crammed in that.
And we had 10 hours a day. And I told you at the beginning, hey, we got 10 hours and it's going to be full. There goes that dog we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
He's taken up with the neighbors over. They'll take care of him, though. They're good neighbors. They'll feed him and take care of him.
Good.
It's a, what do you call that dog? Belgian Malinois. We had a Belgian Malinois wander up over here, and a good-looking dog.
Yeah.
And I fed him a little bit, but he'd take it up with the neighbors, and they'll take care of him.
Good.
He'll have a good retirement home. But yeah, that was that was challenging as an instructor because we had so short time to get it done. And it's just an urban course, nothing over. I think we got to 200 yards at one point, maybe. We did elevated shooting at 200.
Oh yeah,
I believe.
that's right. Yeah, we did.
Because elevated shooting, you got to get some distance where you don't see the impact. We shot out of the barn loft. Remember that?
Right. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, we also did your urban assault course too.
Urban assault course, was that challenging?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that makes me a little proud, Jus. Mine was the most challenging course.
It does because it takes you out of the rappel master course I did up on Lookout Mountain. Mm-hmm. It's a civilian school, but your classes were taught from a tactical point of view. Mm-hmm. It wasn't done from civilian. It was, hey, this is down and dirty. This is what's going to work. This is the way you're going to do it.
Right.
We had some people that weren't happy.
Right. With mine?
Yeah.
I know.
Because they were stressed out because there was so much in such a short amount of time.
And I don't mess around with weapons. So if we're going to train with weapons and train how to protect ourselves, our brothers and our sisters, and how to kill the bad guy,
right,
we're going to take it serious and do it properly.
Right. And we weren't using sim rounds. We were using live ammo.
Yeah.
So
and there's about a little mock-up down there.
Yeah.
And then we went to some of the abandoned places we use for training and use what we use, BBs, I think.
Yeah, well, we had
airsoft.
Airsoft. Yeah,
those things hurt.
They do.
Y'all shot me once and it hurt. I was playing AOP 4 and I got shot. Yes. I had iPro on. I think I had Face Pro on, but I got shot on the Adam's apple.
Yeah,
right on it, man. I'm like,
yeah.
And when your guys came around the corner, he shot 3 times and one of them hit me in the Adam's apple. Not in the shirt. But
right in the Adam's apple. But yeah, we had that was a pretty intense course too because there was so much in such a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. And our little squid, he wasn't happy about anything.
It was hot too.
Yeah,
I remember it was right in the middle of summer. It was nasty.
We were sweating. Heat. Yeah,
but it was fun.
Yeah.
What's the most useless course you've ever taken?
Army motor transport course.
Army motor transport course. I went through that.
Yeah,
you had to. Everybody had to go through it. The only part I liked about that course was driving the LMTVs, learning how to drive a semi with a trailer.
They were cool.
Yeah. But driving a Hummer, come on.
Now, if I had a choice of all-terrain vehicles, I'd snatch me up a Hummer. A military Hummer, not a civilian version.
Right. What about those new Hummers? The new is replacing them.
I've seen it, but
it looks like a jacked up Elon Musk truck.
Yeah,
what it looks like.
Yeah, it's
They're not
just
electric.
a Hummer on testosterone.
They are lifted. I haven't driven one. I don't know. I saw them around, but I didn't get in it. So.
I didn't either.
But the military Hummer is a durable machine.
It is, and I wish I had one.
I've had those things. I've driven those things that were shot up, beat up, and they still kept on motoring, baby.
I did both courses. I did the basic and advanced course for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing what those vehicles will do.
Right. We had an up armored one get hit with a IED and shot about 60 times, and we were just we were still
getting it.
We're still rocking about 70 miles an hour, baby.
Yeah.
So crap leaking out the back of it.
Oh yeah.
Now it was burned up when we got back, but we had an excuse.
But it got you back.
Yeah, it did. Windows busted out. It was crazy, man.
Yeah.
Dude was going crazy in the back because his eardrums got busted. So, we didn't have it. We wore Peltors inside the truck.
Right.
He had taken his off to mess with him and got his eardrums busted. So
it happens.
But because when you're inside that tin can, that sound is way worse than it is just standing out in the open. So, but it's still bad. But yeah, so motor transport course was your favorite.
Yeah.
Did the Army run it like they were all serious and stuff?
They tried. They thought they were drill sergeants all over again. I laugh at everything.
So I was a brigade S4 officer.
Right.
At one time in the reserve. I did everything but S1 at one time in my career. All right. Typical officer, right?
Yeah.
And they said the brigade commander said, "Hey, I want to run a motor transport course." We had the vehicles and we had the space. And I said, okay, so put it all together. We had our master drivers get all spun up and ready to go. And I said, I'm the OIC, but I'm going to go through the course too. After about 30 minutes, I was like, man, I wish I'd have figured out something else to do because it was so boring.
Yeah, but that's being a good leader, though.
We had about 60 people in the class, so they had a lot of people to get through there. So you stood around forever waiting your turn to do a figure eight around some cones.
Hurry up, stand by.
But the LMTV part I did like. I don't know. I never backed a trailer that big before. I've only backed your small trailers and
Did
a
you
pickup.
do it down there in McClellan?
No, we did it at Birmingham at 75th Training. They got a big parking lot. And they got a little off-road course. Did y'all go off-road?
Yeah.
We had an off-road portion too. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
We did our off-road portion at the state park.
Yeah.
They allowed us to go in and do our thing. So.
Yeah, that was worthless, that course.
All right. I got a surprise for you on my worthless course when we get back. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But we'll be back in a second from the break, and we'll talk about some of the mod training.
Hey, Macky here. I hope you enjoyed our podcast. I want to talk a little more about what we do in terms of digital forensics. So digital forensics is an interesting aspect of our job, and we're all certified to gather evidence in the digital realm. This means that computers, smartphones, tablets, you name it, we can go in and recover deleted data. Just because they say it's deleted doesn't mean it's deleted. We have the tools and expertise to recover this data. That includes text messages, emails, cloud forensics, you name it. We are certified to take care of this for you. So if you have questions about digital forensics and how it will help your case, give us a call, 866-910-7499, or reach out to us through MackeyOutlaw.com. Thank you.
All right, y'all, we're back. We did talk about Jus's favorite course, hardest course, and the most useless course.
We did.
You surprisingly that I actually put a sniper course on one time, and Jus and one of his teammates took it. He said it was hard.
It wasn't hard. It was challenging.
Okay, challenging. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's my first one? My most enjoyable course?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. We used to call it in Force Recon the Urban Assault Course. 6 months long. And all it is 45 shooting 1911. And we had M4s. They just switched to M4s when I started in it. And doing assault after assault after assault with sim guns, live rounds, and all that for 6 months. What do you think of that?
That'd be awesome.
It's very challenging, though. All right. And you have to do that before you deploy every time. So you start out on the flat range with pistol only. And then it's very fast. You got to be fast to pass the qual courses on these.
Right.
I'm talking speed the times are crazy. All right. And when you first start, you're like, there's no way I'm making these times. But after a couple of weeks, you're hitting the times and you're like, okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And it's 8 to 12 hours a day, every day. except for Saturday or Sundays for 6 months. Would you do that?
Yeah, I would.
You had to
I like training.
Yeah.
I don't like sitting idle.
You had to be physically fit to do it. There was a lot of, you did fast rope in, a lot of riding around in box trucks. You inserted that way. Also, at the beginning of that, there's a breacher's course. I went through that. We learned how to blow doors off and breach obstacles without killing the people on the other side. The least amount of explosive as possible to make the entry. So that was a pretty good course too. That was like a little side course they did before you started. But that one was my favorite course. All right. What do you think the hardest course was?
Rip.
Nah, not Rip. Rip was hard, but it was short. It was only 3 weeks long.
Yeah.
So the most difficult course I went to was sniper school. Marine sniper school. Do they still have it?
No, they've gotten rid of that MOS.
Somebody will bring it back. I guarantee you.
Somebody smart should bring it back.
Yeah. A lot of us went to the sniper course. There was the Recon Marines, and that was a challenging course. It was in 3-4 phases, maybe. It was a long time ago. I went in 97, I think. So I'm trying to bring back some memories here. But the first part is all just flat range shooting known distance targets. And you had to shoot a 32 out of 35 rounds. So you can only miss 3, all the way from 300 yards all the way back to 1,000. And then they had moving targets that pop-ups. They call them snaps.
Right.
And the shooting with your buddy is a spotter. And the wind and environmental factors that go into a bullet the further you move away from your target was crazy, man. I remember we were going through the training at first. There's all theory and textbook stuff. I'm like, there's no way it has that kind of effect on a round that's moving 2,800 feet per second. It does, though, man. And I learned that the hard way by missing some. You get some misses in there. And the first part of sniper school, they're not that bad to you. All right. Yeah, you got to show up on time, and, they treat you. They're not nice to you, but they want you to get through that qual course at first. All right.
Right.
You get 3 chances to pass it. And we started out with 30 students. By the time after the 3rd week, when the qual was over, we were down to 15. So it kills about half of you. The known distance qualification course kills about half your students.
Yeah, I can believe that.
And then you go into field craft the rest of the time. The field craft time part I didn't have trouble with, but it was the other students that were, because you're tired, man. You're not sleeping much in the field craft portion, and they turn into whiny little people.
That's sleep deprivation will do that.
And you're and you get graded on how well you do as a team.
Right.
So, and it's challenging, man. It was a challenging course. People always talk about Ranger School. I never went to Ranger School. People talk about hard courses, and I always say Marine Sniper School was in my opinion, the most difficult, because I went through the basic reconnaissance course, RIP, dive school. I went through all that, and Sniper School was a butt kicker, man. So,
yeah.
And I gave you a little bit of that in your little sniper course, didn't I?
You did. You did.
Not much, just a week's worth. But you got land nav involved in it. You got the whole thing.
We had everything involved in it.
I'm talking about the Marine Sniper course. You got everything. Because a part of the field craft, you got to pass the land nav course, which is like 10 points day in the night or night in the day, depending on when you start. And you got to run the whole thing.
You did that up at Lejeune.
Yep. And you got your weapon with you the whole time in a rucksack.
It sucks at Lejeune.
Yeah.
The boys at Pendleton, I don't think had it as rough as you guys.
Well, at Pendleton out in the desert, you go, look, there's a point. Look, way out there. Lejeune, you got to bust brush, man.
Yeah.
They talk about using terrain association. Yeah, we're going to do terrain association with this wet ground and some briars. That's about what you got.
Yeah, Pendleton was awesome for the guys going through that stuff.
All right. I went to Pendleton. We did jumps out there. We did some raids and training with them, but I never did anything rural where we were walking across the land. We got Attack of the Dogs here, Juice.
Yeah, I see that.
They're out. All the neighbors' dogs out sniffing around. The most useless course. What do you think I'm going to say?
Well, since I never put you through any of my courses, it won't be any of my courses. Thank you.
Army.
We'll go with something Army something.
Army Airborne School. The most useless course.
It's only 3 weeks.
Yeah, oh God.
3 weeks you'll never get back.
I could have done it. The course could have been done in 2 days.
Right.
With 300 people, you could have done it in 2 days. weather dependent, with aircraft.
Oh,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But the first week you learn how to fall down. The second week you learn how to fall down from higher elevation.
Right.
And then the third week you actually jump out of an airplane.
Right.
But they treat you like you're in basic training.
Yeah.
I went there as a corporal in the Marines, and I had no idea. I'd never been exposed to the Army. All right. None of my training as a young troop took me to Army. You were co-located with some Army folks in your ordnance class.
Yeah,
right?
it was hysterical.
Yeah. Some of the classes you go to in the military are joint classes. You'll have Army, Navy, Marines, and sometimes Air Force in there with you. None of mine were. I was always an infantry recon guy, and it's always in-house type. There was no Army people around. I take that back. Sniper school, we had 2 Army guys and 1 Navy SEAL in there. But
no, you went through more than that inter-service schools.
But snipers, we did have some Army guys in there, and we had 1 Navy SEAL. One of the Army guys failed, and they teamed up the Army guy and the SEAL as sniper buddies, and they ended up being the top dogs of the class. I'm like, y'all are crazy.
Yeah, that's just not natural.
They were squared away dudes. They were both E7s, been around a while. What I mean? They knew what they were doing. And they'd both been through their perspective services sniper school, so they already had an idea what was happening.
You did free fall, didn't you, too?
Free fall was, now that was a fun course.
Yeah.
That's a different, we'll talk about that. But the Army Airborne School could be done in 2 or 3 days, man. A lot of the other nations, NATO forces do it in about 5 days. I went to the Israeli Airborne School.
Yeah.
5 days, we're done.
Imagine that.
It was just crazy, man. They treat you like you're in basic training. You get everybody from full bird colonel down to private there, mostly privates. They're right out of school because you got the airborne divisions they got to fill in the Army. But just hopping around, falling down all the time. I was sore a lot because you hit the ground a lot.
3 points of contact.
Yeah. It's 5. Balls of the feet.
Yeah.
Side of the calf.
The 3 points of contact when you don't land right.
Oh, 3 point. That's how I landed most of the time with static line.
Yeah.
Feet, butt, back of the head. And then you're a little cuckoo, and your ears are ringing. You're like, okay, I didn't die. I probably would feel better if I did die.
You only got to do it 5 times out of school and you're done, right?
Yeah, but we did a lot out of school. I was we jumped almost monthly. I think I had 30 something static line jumps in the Marines. Now, since I've been in the Army, I think I've got over 55 static lines. Now, free fall school was an Army course, and that was awesome. Now, you do a week in the wind tunnel. Week 2, you're jumping out of a plane. That's how you do it, baby. It was ran by Special Forces guys, so a little more common sense was deployed there. Now, I said sniper school is the hardest course. Another very difficult one, I put it right up there with sniper school, is Army Jump Master School. That one is very difficult. With the Jump Masters personnel inspection, the JMPIs under time, and all that. We started with 50 in that class, graduated with 4.
Imagine that.
So it's a huge safety course, and you got some things you got to learn and know and prove. And a lot of people go through that course 2 and 3 times before they pass it. So, but what other courses you think of would be difficult?
Courses that you've probably gone through?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know all the stuff I know the background of the unit, but I don't know all the courses you would have gone through. I would think scuba would be not that easy.
So scuba is weird. So it's Marine Combatant Dive course. So you go through pre-scuba at your local unit, which is 10 days. We call it Air Appreciation Week.
Drown proofing.
Yeah, you do drown proofing, a lot of swimming underwater, a lot of finning, a lot of swimming, a lot of learning about the scuba system and the UBA system, the dragger system, the enclosed circuit system.
Right.
But you never actually breathe through it. You do a lot of swimming with it. You get to drag it around in the water.
You just can't breathe with it.
Yeah, you don't get to go under with it.
That's nice of them.
And that's pretty difficult. It was hard. And then you actually get to the Marine Combatant Divers course, and it's not that. It's kind of chill.
Is it really?
Yeah, they don't treat you like
crap. I would have
expected
they make it difficult.
They always show the part on TV and the YouTube videos of them when you're doing it where you're trolling around on the bottom of the pool and they come down and shark attack you and tie all your stuff in knots.
Yeah.
They make it, it's not that hard. All right. By that point in the course, you're already holding your breath for up to 4 minutes. You do a lot of running there, a lot of swimming. So you're physically fit, right?
Right.
And you can hold your breath for
I
quite
would
some
think
time.
your cardiovascular would have to be top notch.
It is to go to that course and excel in the course. But you're, they come down, you're swimming around the bottom or you're facing, you're just trolling around the deep end. And when the instructor comes down and rips all your stuff off, ties it in knots, and it's called problem solving. So you got to untie it all, get your air back, and you do it with buddies. And the buddy usually gets hit harder than you do. So you got to make sure your buddy's air is going and you get your air going, those kind of things. Just to show you're not going to freak out when the going gets tough in the middle of the Mediterranean at night, something like that. Then you do 3 weeks of Draeger, which is a closed circuit system where there's no bubbles.
Yeah.
And all it is swimming with a team from 2,000 to 3,000 meters out underwater and going in doing little missions. So it's not that bad.
I think it would be more dangerous at night going under these ships and stuff.
No, we didn't go under. We didn't do a lot of. Now in the scuba part, the first part, we had to learn how to search for magnetic mines and stuff on ships, just because it's in the POI.
Yeah.
But as a recon Marine, we didn't go under ships much. We did insertions into harbors and in rural environments, on beaches and those kind of things. So
yeah, but once you get under that water and it's nighttime,
piece of cake, Juice.
Yeah, okay.
Juice can't swim good, y'all.
I won't be doing that course ever.
You drive the boat for us, right?
I wouldn't even do that.
Really, at night?
Hell no.
Yeah, I've been in some pretty crummy situations at night in a what we call the actual nomenclature of the rubber Zodiacs in the military is inflatable boat small. You know what we called it? Itty bitty ship.
I believe it, because that's exactly what it is.
Itty bitty ship. I've been stuck out in the middle of places in terrible weather and those things with a little 35 horsepower motor or 55, depending on the time, pushing you along.
I got one for you.
What?
You ever drive a 4,000-pound military forklift in a combat situation getting shot at?
No, tell me about it, though.
Yeah.
Was it armored?
No, it was one of the little 4,000-pound forklifts you see up at the motor pool and stuff.
A Caterpillar forklift or whatever?
Yeah, some lieutenant was like, we need to bring that with us. You're licensed? I went, we're deployed. I don't think license matter here.
Right.
Well, go get it.
You're not driving around civilians there.
Right. So. Go get it and follow us.
Right.
Dude, I was getting shot at because that lieutenant wanted to bring a forklift with him.
Right.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. But they go dink, dink, dink when the bullets were hitting you. It reminds me of on Heartbreak Ridge when the Ayatollah of Rock and Roll is driving the bulldozer.
Stitch Jones.
He's driving the bulldozer and they hit in front of the bulldozer. But all right, Juice. Well, that was a good one. We're going to call it quits for right now.
All right.
And we'll be back in a little bit with another episode. See y'all.